Hello, my beautiful soul family. Thank you guys for joining me. I am so happy to see each and every one of you. I've already got the incense lit, and I'm going to start doing a cleansing. And this is just cleansing the aura of the phone, any connections therein. I've already done a cleansing for myself. I've already cleansed my aura, but I want you guys to just imagine that this incense is going around you and it is releasing any energies that are no longer serving you or that are not yours into nature. Let Gaia take these lower vibrational energies and let's release it into the cosmos and into Gaia for retransmutation and realchemization. So be it, and so it is. I will be sitting these over here. Now, as I stated in a post that I made earlier, I did a collective card pull. This was something that was completely last minute, and I was directed to do so by source. And there was obviously some information needing to come through, not only for me, but for the collective as well. And of course, that's why we title it a collective card pull. And this comes from my ability and a lot of others who can feel the energetic flux of source through the collective and how the collective is perceiving their own conscious awareness of self and their own conscious awareness of their self connection to source through their self. So I know that was a bit maybe wordy, but it will find resonance within you, I promise. So I pulled from just the plain tarot rider deck, or the rider tarot deck, sorry, dyslexia there. And then I pulled from the Angels of Oracle deck, the Angels of Atlantis Oracle. And so, sorry, I'm just so excited because this message was extremely powerful, and they were both in such alignment that I honestly I'm almost at a loss for words, which is very unusual for me, especially when I'm channeling, which means that the message and its in and of its purity is what needs to come through. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with that. So I'm going to start with the card pull, and then I'm going to go into not only, and let me just make a disclaimer real quick, the way that I do my card readings, especially when it is preceding and involved within a channeling, the way that the card is or the way that the cards plural are interpreted is coming from the information that I'm receiving from those channeled sources. So if you are a tarot deck reader, if this is something that you do and this is your main gift and this is what you present to the world, or if you've been to some and they hold a specific etiquette, I guess you could say, within how they present their ability, just know that this could be a bit different. But the message is still the same because it came through in complete alignment, and you'll see this when I present it. The colors, the message, they're all there, every bit of it, and what it's representing within the collective and within me personally as well. So I felt this on a very, very multitude of, I should say a multi-level aspect of myself as source, myself as the consciousness, and all together as source combined. So anyways, I'm not going to sit here and talk anymore. I want to get into this. So let's get into the cards now, shall we? All right, guys. So out of these were the first two that came through. Now, this is representing, first of all, I want you to take notice the background being blue. I want you to take notice of, in this one, there's a heavy burden that is seemingly being carried. You can see how his back is hunched over. You can see that he's carrying 10 of these beautifully crafted wands. They're beautiful and they're unique in their individuality, but they're causing him a burden. You know, he's walking with intention. However, there is something that is preventing him from being proud. Even though they each are beautiful in their own way, there is still something that is preventing him from standing upright and steadfast and with this emotion of being old. Now, the reason why is because this is a burden. Now, I want you guys to remember a post I made the other day. And if you are not familiar with this post, please go to my page. It was talking about emotions and how they're energy in motion. And when we carry emotions around, they become a burden within us and upon us. And these are emotions that are no longer serving our highest good. And so it becomes almost like if you have to pee or poop, it becomes like sewage backed up in your system. It weighs you down. So this message was coming through as those that are still holding on to energies that are not serving them. Source is really, and Spirit's really wanting you to go back to the message that we posted about it being equivalent to sewage. If you do not release it, it's going to make you sick. It will always be a burden if it is not serving a higher purpose within your reality at this time. Meaning if it's not leading to the... Sorry, I have to kind of pull it out of view and then put it back in view. But if you're not receiving these energies as a lesson, a divine lesson, then they are attachment or they're karmic and they need to be healed and released. Now, even if they're karmic, those energetic cords sometimes cannot be completely cut or completely released. They can only be healed. But if you do not at least try to focus and put awareness there and work towards it, the burden will continue on. Okay. Now the next one, and as you noted, and as I mentioned, he was holding 10 wands. Now we have the 7 of wands. Now with this one, you can see the look on his face. He's very determined, and he's placing these semi-strategically, but the most important thing is that he's releasing them from his back into the ground. He is letting that burden go. He is understanding that, okay, there are some things that are going to take some willpower, some courage to overcome, to release, and that's okay. But with that courage and that willpower to do so, you can start to let go of aspects that are burdening you. And these can become physical aspects that make you sick because of the energy blockages that you have yet to release. So once we release these, that physical heaviness becomes a lot lighter. And so now, even though only 7 of the 10 have been released, that's a huge amount. And he is determined to see it through. And the background of this, by the way, is blue again, and that is going to hold some more significance, and you'll see why in a second. So now let's go ahead and move on to the next. So he's released some of his burden. The next card that came through was this. Now if you notice it, of course, it's the Page of Wands. He is dressed in a more regal manner. There is still a blue background, but there is more, oops, sorry guys. There is more yellow coming into play here, more light. And he is able to stand tall and proud and reflect on those that may have been let go, although beautiful and appreciated. They were not able, he was not in a position to witness them as such when they were being carried, right? When we're carrying something, we're not able to see it. It's on our back or it's in our arms. We're looking ahead. We're not looking down. When we're looking up and we're looking in front of us, we can perceive what we are able to perceive as a witness. So he is bearing witness to the ability to be that. To simply be the witness of what was let go, to stand tall, proud, and sorry guys, I don't mean to keep going out of focus on you. That's just me trying to hold my phone and the cards at the same time. But you see, he's just extremely, and he's lighter because he's standing tall, he's standing erect. His posture is perfect. And this would be perfect in terms of physical stature and energetic stature. And you see the mountains in the background. It's almost like he's on top of the world. He is able to become more of that which he already was, but he can now perceive it in front of him instead of seeing it as something that could be because he's still looking behind him, or he's unable to even see in front of him fully because of what held him down from before. So now All right, now this is the last one. I pulled it in a sequential nature. This is like if you were on, this is the path of the collective and even myself at this moment. This is the final phase of that, where we've gone in, where we've addressed and seen the emotions that need to let go. We've let them go. We've bore witness to how they served us. We've given gratitude. We've been able to stand tall and bring in more light and lessen the load. So now we can actually sit on the throne, and it not being a throne, meaning a toilet where we're releasing and purging. We've been through all that. Now we can actually sit on a regal throne, and we can literally adorn the crown of positive abundance and positive thinking and positive mindset, positive emotions, all that was meant to be coming in for us. But we had to make room, right? So once we made room, this is kind of the same with, you think of clothing. When you clean out your closet, you actually make room to get new garments, right? And so he has upgraded his garments. He's upgraded the way that he is presenting himself. At first, he was walking hunched over and downtrodden and did not have self-assuredness. And now he is literally the king within his kingdom, the king within his reality, or the queen within her reality. And I also want you to take note of the lions in the background and the reptiles in the background. Those are going to hold some significance in the cards that were pulled right after this. And why that has to do in terms of an alignment with the energies and how they are serving a massive catalyst within the transformation that's happening within all of us at this time that have sought this transformation. For change cannot come unless we invite it in and receive it, right? Okay, so to finalize on this one, King of Wands, sitting on his throne, he's not only holding on to what's left of those remaining things that need to be let go. It's almost like he's got it present as a reminder, as the witness, but he is choosing to look beyond it. He is now looking past what was holding him down into what more can be brought in and balanced to continue to move forward. And so that being said, let's check these next two cards out, okay? All right, first, guys, one of my two favorites in this deck is the Magician. And this one and the Justice card came out at the same time. And there's some very significant representations in this that not only follow what we just heard, but if you notice with the Magician, there is the balance. There is the infinite symbol above the head representing the ability to receive intelligent infinity through that conscious awareness after receiving a balance within the conscious mind through the addressing of that which needs to be healed. And that allows us a balance of our connection to the divine while still staying grounded and receiving and being present within this present physical reality. And we are receiving that through the abundance of intelligent infinity because the universe is abundantly abundant. And now the background is yellow. There is more light. There is still blue mixed in. But if you notice, now if you'll notice on the table, there is a chalice, a pentacle, a sword, and a staff. He has now laid his staff down, the one that he was holding on to, in order to remind him of what was, because what was always is going to be a part of what is. We must love that part of us that we've let go, even though we are shifting into a whole new, not only perspective, but a whole new embodiment of ourselves. It's a literal physical, chemical, emotional, biological death of the physical and emotional and energetic self. When that happens, we rebirth. And this is showing that rebirthing process with balance, with intelligent infinity, through the integrity of knowing that we can truly alchemize our energy from a wooden staff and turn it into a sword, a mighty sword of knowing. It's also 1:11 right now, guys, just so you know. And I'll try to get a screenshot of that really quick. Hang on just one second. Okay, cool. So I was able to get the screenshot. So anyways, finalizing on this, the yellow background, we're showing more light coming in. As more light comes in, Look at this beauty all around him. And look at how he's still regal, but he's regal in a new way. He has less burdening him in all forms, in a material aspect, but yet he's still abundant. His cup is full. He's gained wealth through the balance and the knowing and the letting go of that which he needed to let go. And as I said, justice came up at the same time. And what I love about justice is there's still yellow in the background. Now we've got some gray on the sides with the concrete pillar that she is seated on her throne, or his throne. And as you notice, again, the sword is facing towards the heavens, and the scales are pointed with the fingers as well towards earth. This is showing a balance of justice on the earthly plane and the divine plane. So as you move out of this chapter, as we're moving out of this chapter and we're shifting more into this new chapter, this is the in-between. This is where the shift happens. This is where the awakening, the next chapter of the awakening process happens, is we gain justice through the true knowing of ourselves, through the transmutation and realchemization of the less than happy feeling thoughts to happy feeling thoughts, through the less than happy ways of thinking into the happy ways of thinking, of conscious awareness, of intelligent infinity, and the fact that we are always connected. There is never a disconnect. That is why there is always something pointed upwards and something pointing downwards to show you there is always as above, so below. And this is within every plane, the physical, the metaphysical, and there's still some yellow in the background. There is the blue and the gray. And this is significant, again, as we're going into the next set of cards, which I'm going to do now. All right, guys. So now this is why I was talking about the colors. This is an all yellow background again. And this is the main reason why this keeps coming through to me is because when we let go of that sewage, when our pee is really yellow, we know there's a lot of toxins, right? But when we start to let go of that and we clear those toxins from our system, that stops becoming a toxin and it starts becoming a light. So we go from it being the releasing of what wasn't needed in the lesser pleasant way of thinking, and then bringing in the sunlight. Bringing in the sunlight, bringing in the beauty of everything around us. And then now that we've alchemized, we no longer are carrying a burden. We are literally skipping along with full of bliss, full of joy, and we are planting the seeds. We are setting the path. We are literally marking the way for others to follow. This is what those of us that are called and find resonance within this, that are on this path right now, this is what we're meant to do. You see in the background now, it's not a desolate desert. It is a desert with water running through it, with tents being set up. There is life happening, and it is life full of color. It is vibrant. It is growing. And this is what happens when we start to share what we know. And that's exactly what we are doing here for you today. And this is why this has so much beauty and power within the message, is because of that in and of itself for us was, sorry, hang on one second, guys, was very powerful. 1 second, guys. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I had a bug crawling on my face. I just had to get that off real quick so I could finish. But so, and now we're incorporating all these beautiful colors: blue, red, yellow, silver, or even gray if you want to call it. So, and now the mountains are boulders. We are now building a community around what we know. And I love how this certain filter adds this almost essence of green in the background. I think that's beautiful because it's bringing in the frequency of love. Now, on to the next. So now, the next to last card. Now this one, you can see why. Sorry, let me straighten these up. You see the lion's head at the top. You see the divine number of 2, which I've been getting a lot of 1 ones, 2 2s today. And I'm getting a lot of those numbers coming through in the cards. We have not only the lion's head representation, which is showing power. It's showing owning that fire power within you and bringing forth that fire, that energy, and making it the catalyst of transmutation. And you also see what the two serpent heads coming up from between the chalices, showing a collective coming together of two individuals where they recognize the light within each other. They share the abundance within their chalice. They share the abundance of energy, of knowledge, of wisdom within them. It is the divine masculine and the divine feminine. They are balanced out through equal offering. You see, as he is reaching for her cup, she is pushing hers towards him. This allows, now this is not just representative in a physical aspect. This is representative of our right brain and our left brain. The right brain is the chalice or the female. The left brain is the blade or the male. When you have a marrying of both, a balance of both, you then have the access to a Kundalini awakening, which opens up the fire of the soul that is your true being. Your wings can literally open up and you can fly in any direction you wish. You become the creator that you've always been. And this is what I see, and this is just pure harmony and balance within the self and within all relationships formed therein. And you guys also, there was a very, very beautiful color blue in the background of that one, with in the incorporation of the blue for her and the yellow for him, which shows the coming together of the thinking mind, which brings us into those memories and those attachments and those karmic emotional issues that we need to let go. And then the other would be the female is the conscious, the holistic consciousness, the ability to perceive that beyond which was already perceived, to open your lens of awareness within the self. Now, final card. This to me is so beautiful because, again, we have the scales of justice. When they are balanced, when you are giving to others through the universal laws, from the law of love and the law of simply giving to. And I say the beautiful law of giving to give, because when you give to give without respecting or expecting or, thinking that you must receive something in return, then you're giving out of love. You're giving out of empathy. You're giving out of the desire to help others just because. When you do that, although there are two people here, you're going to receive back from the universe times 3. There are 5 pentacles. So the universe is giving back times 3 to the one who gives selflessly, to the one who gives from the balance of justice, of love and wisdom. When love and wisdom are balanced within the self, we give of ourselves selflessly and we receive the abundance that is the universe. Times 3 always. And this, you notice there's a castle in the background. Now we have gone from a desolate desert to mountains to a small, and that small town ended up showing a beautiful pair of balanced individuals, or the balanced mind and heart, which then begat this beautiful civilization where ones that have the ability to give, and the ones that are in desperate seeking and needing to receive are there to receive from those who desire to give. And so that is what we received in the channeling of the messages in regards to these cards. And we're going to move on to the Oracle deck. It's 122. Again, more beautiful numbers. And let's go straight into that and let you see how it is parallel to this. All right, guys. So the Angels of Atlantis Oracle deck. Now, this one, I am going to read some from the book, but I'm still going to give you the messages that are being channeled through me to you guys. And I'm going to go in sequential order. And I pulled all of these cards over my folder. This is my spiritual folder, as I call it. And as you can see, there are light codes on it on both sides. So it is actually a very powerful manila folder, believe it or not. And I always receive the most accurate messages whenever I pull using this folder. Now, the very first one, and look, I went right to it. The very first one that I pulled was Hanael, courage. Now, do you know, you notice the red? There's a lot of red, a lot of yellow. This is signifying groundedness and becoming aware of what needs to be addressed on the physical plane. Now, I do want to read from the book real quick. Okay, so before I start this, I do want to say that this goes in direct alignment with what I was pulling last week, where we spoke about going internally and seeking out what needed to be addressed within the self to let go. And willpower came through, to have the willpower to do so. This was the first one, Hanael, the sacred warrior. Courage. It seems you have recently felt your force dwindling and that you need to call upon this oracle for support. Hanael's shield of humility will allow you to feel fully protected as you face the situation. Which part of you feels thwarted, or what thought suggests that you cannot move bravely through this current experience? Trust the courage of the wise Hanael and see yourself covered by the shield and drenched in the angelic presence of the ruby ray arising from Hanael's beautiful presence. Please do not doubt your truth. Again, do not doubt your truth. Find strength in your convictions and allow them to guide you to be the spiritual warrior that you are. Chant Om Namah Shivaya 3 times, and the divine will illuminate your way forward. Again, that is Om Namah Shivaya. Okay, next, guys, I really could not have been more excited about this one, because Sandalphon was the next one that came through with intention. So when we go internally, we release what needs to be released, and look at that beautiful yellow golden rays coming in. Again, that yellow. For once we release that which is holding us too much in the physical plane, we're not letting in enough light. We're not balancing ourselves out enough between the physical and the divine. That's where we have to go within and find out what needs balancing. And once we do that, we set the intention to do so. And once we set that intention, look how beautiful this picture is. How serene. Oh, I love it. Now, planetary cycles. Sandalphon, as the angel of the earth element, is completely interwoven with the swiftly flowing changes of Earth's structure. Many changes have been prophesized, and many changes are now occurring. Mind you, guys, I have not read any of this until now. This card invites you to look to your own natural cycles and see that you are to see that you are an organic being living on an organic planet. If you are currently enjoying a birthday or anniversary, I'm sorry, guys, I'm so excited. See it as a crucial cycle marker in this life on Earth, and ask what aspect of your authentic self you are allowing to emerge at this time. So what part of you is attempting to come through and awaken? Sandalphon is asking you to reveal how awe-inspiring you are, and how you can allow the angels to carry you to a new level of inner peace, letting your true self come forth. Remember when he was bending over at the very beginning, carrying the load, literally asking you to call on them. They will help you lessen the load. You merely have to call upon them. They cannot intervene without overstepping free will, so you must call upon them. So ask the angels to help you ask them how the angels can help you reach a new level of inner peace, letting your true self come forth. Chant. Oh. To stabilize the earth element within you. This will help you to ground yourself as you move through this cycle change, and thence to easily incorporate the many changes. So again, guys, have the courage to face the old you, release that paradigm and that construct, set the intention to accept the change and to invite the change. You must invite the change. And once you do, look at the beautiful serenity that comes to you and through you for your highest good. Now, I know everybody's going to love this next one, abundance. So we have the courage to release. We set the intention within the change that we want. And what do we receive from that with an attitude of gratitude? Uriel comes forth with the answer of abundance. The tree of life is ever abundant. Source is ever abundant. There is no lack in the tree of life. There is no lack from the central sun. There is no lack from any and all aspects of the light therein. All of this gives us what we have already created for ourselves. Let's see what message Uriel has for us, okay? Uriel, the divine companion. The tree of life. Oh my gosh, guys. I have not read this until now, so I'm just interpreting what I'm being told before I read. The tree of life brings abundant flow into your life at this very moment, and this is why you have singularly chosen Uriel's oracle of abundance. The core of all abundance is the source. When you totally believe in the flow of this divine nectar, the bounty of God is responding in like measure. Develop the muscle of your faith by the positive regard of all your amazing achievements. Fill your life with gratitude for the abundance you are receiving, and speak or chant out loud. I am infinitely abundant in spirit. I have plenty of wealth and my riches increase every day. Say it with feeling and mean it, guys. The feeling is the secret. All right, guys, next we've got Jophiel with meditation. Now, this one, you can see we are literally incorporating all the different colors that just came from the previous card pulls. We've got yellow, we've got purple, and I know it looks like there's green in there, but it's really just yellow, but I love that the green's coming through. The emerald is showing up in the crown. And this came through because there are going to be times on our journey, even as we're receiving all of this abundance, even though we are in alignment, that we will feel tested and possibly detached. When this happens, what Jophiel is telling me right now is to seek out meditation in whatever form that means to you. It can be in a guided meditation. It can be in a sleep meditation. It can be in dancing. It can be in song. It can be in poetry. It can be in journaling. It doesn't merely be stepping into a beautiful nook where I'm at right now, putting your feet in the water and just being present. So the message that's coming through to me is that when you feel this, because this will present itself on your journey, even as you're going into the latter phase of that abundance and that joy and those happy feeling thoughts, we will still be tested because we never want to stay in a comfort zone too long. So meditation, what this is saying within the book is, now in the book it says meditation, finding stillness and detachment helps us towards the angelic freedom evoked by meditation. Jophiel provides us with his yellow ray to soar with. All we need to do is quieten our mind, then we may hear the angels sing. So at dawn and at sunset, practice meditation. Breathe deeply. Listen intently through a relaxed state to the divine Om. And then be still to hear the music of the angelic kingdoms. This will bring your own oracle-based messages. Please be aware of your solitude, stillness, and silence. All right, guys, we're getting close to the end. So Raziel came through with intuition. Then this came out right next to meditation. And you're going to see why. When we go into meditation, we are literally becoming one with our inner being, which aligns us with the full ability to attune to our intuition. You see the alignment of the chakras all the way up through the soul star chakra, connecting you with intelligent infinity and connecting you to the universal mind, the universal consciousness, but underneath or in front of what could be perceived as the tree of life. And also connecting with the worldliness of that which is below. And so sometimes when we are in this state of meditation, we must trust and have faith in that which we are being guided towards through our intuition. So what Raziel states is the oracle wishes you to turn inwards to tuition to the natural laws of your soul, which will guide you through the pulsations of eternal love. Trust this inner wisdom, oh dear one, as it is the abundance of your spirit that speaks to you. So we're talking about the abundance of the spirit and the abundance of the physical plane today, guys. Keep that in mind. Listen carefully to these inner murmurings, for when we are called to a teaching, a guide, a vision, a book, a piece of music, or a natural landscape, it means there is something powerful that will be communicated to us, such as those tuning into this at this time. Raziel is at one with your profound inner intelligence and wants you to be awake to these whisperings, these internal soul whisperings. So sit in silence, for the oracle of proof of Raziel's love is present. All right, next guys, Michael or Michael with enchantment. And I just want you guys to know that these are every one of these cards. Actually, no, all of these cards. This is the first time these have ever been pulled. I've ever pulled these, especially as a collective. So we've now gone into these combination of colors, and now we are in the pure source, the unicorn energy of enchantment. Most people do not realize that we each have a unicorn, a dragon. There are the mighty fire dragons that work with Archangel Michael to burn away low vibrational frequencies. Unicorns are highly, highly evolved through the consciousness of Source. They are beautifully, beautifully divine beings, as are dragons. And we each and every one of us are connected to the frequency of these beings, and they come through. This is why the purple in Michael is attributed to the unicorn. And I also say this because I did one of my very first channelings and healings was the Lionsgate portal 2 years ago. It's up on my YouTube. I think it was 2 years ago or a year ago, and I was channeling Michael, Michael, Sandalphon, Metatron, I believe Raphael and Gabriel, but I was also presenting Unicorn's Breath, and I had also called in the Mighty Fire Dragons. So I work with these energies a lot. This is why they come through for me a lot, and this is why people feel the presence of them a lot. And Michael is the cosmic leader. Enchantment came through because Michael asked you to remember the magic of your life by connecting with the path of the enchanted. Is magic missing from your path, or are you aware of a lack of imagination in your creative purpose? Allow the divine joy of the child within you to reconnect with the free flow fun that was once present in your inner. This is a doorway to the numinous. With this card, the unicorn's magical horn touches your soul with the love of its perspicacity. Compelling, eternal, and especially wise about that divine light within you. When it shines, the charisma of your soul magnetizes all people to you. Chant. He through your crown chakra to resonate with the higher frequencies of enchantment. All right, guys, the next to last two are really, really powerful. Gabriel with benediction. First, I just want you to take a look at this card. I feel the power in this card so much. It is like the palm of Source, or the palm of you, holding a full connection and openness to the divine through the awareness of energy that's flowing through your fingertips all the way through your toes, as well as your connection to the collective, the world in the middle. We are on the physical plane of existence, and at the same time, we are within a frequency of divine existence that cannot be felt or touched or seen with the physical sensory perceptions. However, it can be felt and seen with the soul energy, with the heart connection, with the marriage of the heart and the mind. And this is what that presents to me. Let's see what Gabriel has to say. Now, we've talked about abundance, right? And some of the last two cards were speaking because of bringing in that balance. You're receiving abundance from the divine laws. Gabriel wishes you to know that many blessings are sent to you from the angelic kingdoms. Simply yield to this. Don't resist. Just let go. Become the witness. The joy and love you will receive as flow directly from the source will surpass anything else you may experience. These feelings are the virtues that will always be received in the holy instance of benediction. The angel's service is to be a loving conduit for the divine, lifting away any challenge you may experience. Fear makes us unaware of the angels. That's why we surrender the grip of fear. When we do this, then our blessings will accrue. Say a prayer like Hail Mary, full of grace, as a song to the divine feminine, illuminating the nature of your connection with the holy ones. Now, before I move on to the next one, I want to say that what that's speaking on is when we allow change to come, we are allowing in a greater perception within our lens of our personal reality, how we view the world around us, how we view ourselves, and how we view ourselves is how we view the world around us. So when we can let in more, just the prospect of differentials, we can allow in so much more compassion, wisdom, and find truth in all truths. For that is where compassion resides. And that is what I receive within this message. Compassion resides within the knowing of truths of all truths from the connectedness of source, that even when we feel disconnected and detached, we are never disconnected or detached. The compassion within us is a reminder of our connection to source. So let's see what Zadkiel, the sacred lover, Zadkiel is aware of the deep level of compassion that radiates from your heart at this time. The oracle of compassion is one of the highest vibrational influences in this 44 card representation, and it is only chosen when there is a notion currently formulated within the individual who beseeches something from the oracle. And this is what I beseech for you all. Is this because you sense the depth of compassion exuding from yourself at this time as you elevate the suffering of others? Or are you in need of developing this soulful quality in relation to self or other? Wherever you may be, whatever the myriad situations of your life may be revealing, know that the angel of sacred love is supporting you and drawing the cosmic ray of unconditional love and compassion through you. This is a high calling, and it only occurs when the individual is duly ready for the accruing of blessings or for feeling compassion as a blessed virtue. Look at the lives of the holy ones. For example, what does His Holiness the Dalai Lama teach you through his compassion? Chant Om Mani Padme Hum while identifying compassion in your heart as it radiates throughout the world. When the individual is duly ready for the accruing of blessings, or for feeling compassion as a blessed virtue. Look at the lives of the holy ones. For example, what does His Holiness the Dalai Lama teach you through his compassion? Chant Om Mani Padme Hum while identifying compassion in your heart as it radiates throughout the world. And that is Om Mani Padme Hum. Alright guys, I hope you've enjoyed this, and that concludes it for now. I'll catch you guys on the next ones. Logos Adonai Basu Paragas.